Okay, the classic, initialize a 2D array. So, just like we've done on question 7, where we had a one-dimensional array, now we've got a two-dimensional array. Now remember, a two-dimensional array, same thing, use a single name to refer to rows and columns of data. So it's structured in a grid format. Okay, so we have a number of rows, so this is a row. I will get better at drawing with the track ball. And this is a column. Okay, so to refer to an individual location in a two-dimensional array, we can't do it with one index, we need two. So we specify a column and row value. Now in Python, like most languages, we have 0 values. So this is column 0, 1, 2. But in the exam questions, and that is row 0, row 1, row 2. In the exam questions, the exam board will let you know how the 2D arrays are referenced. They'll give you an example. So they might say array 0, 1 refers to this location. Okay, so you'll know which way round, whether it's row or column first. Now I've just, in my example, I've gone row first. So I'm specifying the row number and then the column. You might find it more logical because of graphs and things to specify the X first and then the Y. So you do the column first. But that's maths. This is not maths. Okay. Alright, so let's have a look. What we need to do is visit every single row, and then for each row we visit each column and go 0, 0, store a 0 there. Okay, and then visit the next row, and then each column there, and then visit the next row. So we want to go and visit rows 0, 1, 2. So that's a loop. It's going to be a loop for that. And we want to visit columns 0, 1, 2. So that's another loop. But we need to do the column one for every single row. So what we do is we do nesting. So we've got a loop here. Okay, and I've got a 10 row by 20 column grid in this example. Okay, and I'm saying, right, okay then, for each row do the following. Now in the following we have got, I'll just move that out, I'll just delete it. For each row we've then got another loop. So we're saying, okay, let's do a for loop from columns 1 to 20. Now you can see in this example that this is a grid that is referenced from position 1, 1. So the top left hand corner is 1, 1. I'm starting at 1. Okay, doesn't matter. Like I say, in an exam question they will explain to you which format's being used. So I'm saying, right, every time we go into a row, let's go from columns 1 to 20. So we use this value here for row. So this changes whenever we get down to here. So row starts off at 1 and then we go through this column loop. So row will still be 1 for the 20 different values of column. So we'll visit that one and that one and that one all the way up to the 20th column. So we're going along a row, column by column, and we're setting them all to 0. So we're saying store, remember this means store 0 at that position. Then we move back round to the next row. So the row goes up by 1 and the column thing starts again. So we say, right, okay, for row 2, this row, we say, okay then, start at column 1, the first one, and set that to 0. So we put a 0 in it. Then we put a 0 in the next column, and then the next column, and the next column. Okay, so every time we start a new row, we go through the columns 1 to 20 each time. And that's it. It's no more magic than that. And if you look, it's identical in the way I've done it in Python. Python does crazy ways of allowing you to manipulate this sort of data. But here's how you create your 2D array. So use ND array again. Shape 10, 20. So 10 rows, 20 columns. And we just do that again. So look, we've got the 4 using range 10. And then the 4 using range 20. And we just say row and column. And that's it. So for every row we visit all 20 columns. Then we go to the next row, visit all 20 columns. And that's it. There's nothing, you don't have to make 2D array is more complicated than that. It's just always a nested loop, a loop inside a loop, in order to manipulate them. Okay.